Oh, I should try to say something right at the begins.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sky League Semi-Finals Community Chat. With me here today, I have Velvet of the Mad Hatters, Hillteron of the Crimson Sky Riders, Sammy BT and Frogger of the Mandarins. Hello there. And redria, of course, of Overwatch. Of course, I'm
Hello.
also joined by and Fourth Oracle to question these fine fellows about their aerial combat expertise.
Time to ask them the real, raw questions.
Yes, indeed. We're not holding anything back, so you guys had better be ready for the shit's about to hit the fan.
All right.
And
questioning.
And talking of no holds bar questioning, Fjords, the first match of the day, Overwatch.
I thought we agreed not to talk about fjords.
I did not agree to that.
Only if we can.
love
Only if we can talk about Duel.
Right. Well, Fjords, that first charge, it went a bit Pete Tong, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's wrong for you Americans and non-Cockneys.
Pete
Ooh,
Tong.
that's Cockney, but I don't know.
Who's Pete and why is he tonging?
Never mind about it, Sammy.
So
we sort of
what
spawned
was-
in, and so go ahead.
No, what? Oh, go ahead. You go ahead. You're gonna say something.
We sort of spawned in, and I saw them, and I haven't played enough piloting this week as part of it, but we saw them, and I was just like, well, they're there, so why not just go for it? And it didn't work.
So, I think after that, it was just a bit sort of wonky spawns, and the Mandarins just kept focus firing you down, as I recall.
Yeah, we never really found a spot to cover snipe at all from or make any real advances.
The problem is that the Pyramidian's not really a cover sniping ship with its front-facing guns, is it?
Ah, sure it is. You just gotta play it right.
Well, yes, I suppose so. Well, I was imagining if you were going to win that match, you were going to have to, I don't know, go for rams and high speed, distance control, but the positioning was never quite right. And the Mandarins, of course, just very good at their positioning.
We try. At the end of the day, two Pyramidians with Hades art versus two Junkers with Hades art. Just from the simple math point, you got to give the Junker a bit of an advantage. We got pretty lucky with just immediately getting to pretty good position, and I don't know, it was just everything just kind of lined up. We were able to see where they were spawning. I think we even isolated a few of them with a few charges at several points. We didn't just sit back and camp, I think.
No, you didn't. You didn't these games at all. You were very active. You're much more. You're much more active than you usually are.
Oh, he throws down the gauntlet. These are the raw, uncensored sort of questions I'm talking about.
This is Guns of Icarus Online Raw.
Yes, yes, indeed. Right, as my ears recover from that oral broadside, yes, I think Velvet. No, wait, Velvet wasn't even in the bloody match. What are you talking about, Brick? I think one of the Pyramidians tried to take cover behind the mountain, but in the meantime, the Mandarins just kind of popped tar behind them and sort of focused the other ship. It was
Yeah, I saw. So something that I was really impressed by is Mandarins. You said that you were constantly sort of aware of where Overwatch was when you saw the two ships flanking. I think you did this twice. You saw the two Pyramidians flanking. You guys just went straight for one ship. Like, How did that call come down? Like, how fast? How immediate was that?
As soon as we noticed. Oh,
Go ahead.
you can take it, Frog.
Well, we knew, without getting too much into it, I guess we know that redria is more aggressive of the two Overwatch pilots. So we knew that when we saw the kitty running behind to what we call the Pastafarian South route, because I think it was the Pastafarians who originally used it. We knew that he might be a little more reluctant to get out there and support redria if we went ahead and made a charge. So we figured, redria was isolated and Puppy was kind of far out of the way there. He's probably over 1,000 meters. And we were like, we really ought to capitalize on this opportunity, try to pick up a quick kill on the Rainbow Crash, and then spin about and do the same to the kitty, which more or less worked. I think we didn't quite get as quick a kill as we hoped, but I think we managed to put them on the back foot, and it worked out pretty well for us.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Right.
Thing
Well,
there, we kept only having a spot in one junker, so I was never sure like where. I knew the second junker was going to be close, but I kept being convinced that it somehow had snuck off somewhere, which
It was a
didn't happen.
lot of fighting in those clouds, and a lot of time we were simply going off of where's the Hades coming from?
We actually
Where are
we had-
those yellow
yeah.
lights coming from?
I
We had
remember the Quack Bar dropped a spot one time because he popped some tar and just kind of accelerated forward. And when you're using Hades Artemis, when you lose the spot in those clouds, you basically can't hit anymore, really.
Right.
All right, so
So
on to
yeah,
game number 2.
Yeah, on to game number 2. Yep.
But I
indeed,
really
moving
like
forward.
fjords. I didn't like.
I'm sure you did.
Look for the
Well,
Okay,
anyway,
Redria?
Dawn. Yeah.
Yeah, Redria, I have a question for you. Because Puppy Fur is not here, what the hell was he doing at the beginning of that match? He popped tar, backed into it, and then hit his own mine.
Oh yeah,
Yes, I
I
remember.
remember
Like-
that. We were
Like,
really
there were no
happy.
enemies nearby even. It was just like, fuck my ship.
No, there were.
we saw the
enemies nearby,
junkers.
'cause
We saw the
we got
junkers,
focus
and
fired.
yeah, we saw the junkers, and I think he popped hard just to make sure we didn't get any spots late on us. I didn't know there was a mine involved.
Yeah, they hit their own
That's
mine.
It was.
They, back,
and,
they backed
I
up
mean,
into it.
we were about to lose sight of the squishy, and then he hit the mine. It's like, oh, there he is. He popped over.
Not that it helped us though.
I know.
Didn't he get torn apart by Gap Mortar shortly after, or did he get away? I think he got torn apart,
Got
didn't he?
away.
Oh, okay.
He died quickly in that first death, but then he
Oh,
held
okay,
up.
fair enough. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, after that first death, yeah, I mean, it started going your way. I mean, you were just splitting them up with mines and tar and grinding them down with those carronades. Talk me through that a bit there, Redria.
Basically, I knew our best tactic against the Ducks would just be to separate them. The best way to separate a team is to not let them ever get together. So generally, it was go distract one of them, let me get one of them killed, and then I'll take that one to the ground while you go find the other one, and just keep rolling off and force them to meat grind. It's not you want to force them to meat grind instead of giving them an option of all right, let's hold back and retreat. It's all right, our ally's still alive and he's still alive. I guess I have to go in now because they're not dead.
I noticed it kind of got into a pattern of you just kind of Goomba stomping them down, carronades and flames, while Puppy Fur just kind of ran interference with kind of the the arts and the carronade and the tar and the mines, just sort of disabling the other ship and keeping it down while you finished the other one off.
Now, can I ask you a quick question? Were y'all specifically having the Pira on the Quack Bar specifically, or was it just whatever junker was available? Because
Just
somehow it
whatever
always
junker.
worked that Frogger was getting all of the mine tar, and I was getting all of the Pyramidion, every time.
Really.
So every time I was like, Frogger, save me, save me. He's like, I can't, I'm being mine tarred.
Yeah, that's what.
It's hard to visualize that when you're not seeing it. I can't wait to see the videos because I have no idea what
Yeah, it was.
preventing
it
Frogger.
was
Like I'm not saying the
probably-
Frogger could have helped out, but it's just so weird to think about.
No, like Frogger was locked down. Like
I know I'm
Overwatch.
sure he was locked down. I know he couldn't have helped. I just still can't visualize it.
it,
From
it
just
was one of
being my
very
claustrophobic
disorienting.
screen.
well, that game was probably the best game of Guns of Icarus I've ever seen.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
Not
gonna
the
go on
next
record
one?
like both teams.
Wow.
That was probably my
Yeah,
favorite
it was crazy.
game.
I mean, there's so many close moments. There was one where I had the Rainbow Crash in a really fantastic Gap Mortar position, and right as we got the armor down, I hit a mine and completely lost arc, and my mortar dropped to like 10% health. That might have been a game-ending thing right there, but it's just
And-
it's just little things like that that win games at this level.
and also like what almost saved me at the end, but didn't fully was those little like oars sticking out of the battleship at the bottom. Like Reggio kept
Oh.
on like coming down to Gustav's, just barely bouncing
Yeah.
up. I was like,
Brick
Frogger, you have
saw
2 more
that.
seconds. Frogger, you have
Brick
2 more
saw that and
seconds.
freaked out. Brick was
You
freaking
kind
out
of
when he
got
saw
right
that.
between them, and then like Redria was coming in for the Goomba stomp, but he bounced off one of them. And he
I
was
was like-
turning around.
I was about to get on. I was about to get on Captain Chat and go to Puppy and be like, "Puppy, I'm about to get it," and then I bounced and I was like, "Oh, kidding me?"
No,
Then it
basically,
was
like
really
I saw those, I was like, God, I hope my Junker kind of fits underneath them because that's all. That's the only move I had available.
And as you were trying to finish Sammy off, Frogger actually got arcs on you again with the gap mortar. So it was actually quite close in the end. If
No,
you bounced off
that's
it
where the
one more
mortar
time,
bounced Frogger away,
yeah,
and
obviously.
easily killed the mortar. No, it was.
Extremely tight game. Very, very well played by Overwatch.
Damn it, we thought we had proven that mortars weren't effective. I mean, mines weren't effective. I thought that had been proven in competitive a
Depends how you
long time
use them.
ago.
Depends how
But,
you use them.
holy crap, puppy fur
Mine.
on the mine.
Well, when you have a
Mine?
squid and you can move around so well and you can position the mines like just about wherever you want, you can make anything viable.
That's
Oh,
the key.
fucking-
I'm sure I'll
We just
catch
thought
hell
we
for
could
saying
position-
this, but I don't think the Mine Junker is really the way to go, except on Labyrinth. But on any other map, Mine Junkers are just way too easy to kill.
I think we've come to the conclusion that 2 mines on a Junker might be a bit too much. As much as it may break Gilda's heart, that may be a possibility. In any event, I think that we need to move on now from that
Yes.
great game to the final game of that series, which was
Parrots and Rumble.
Parrot and Rumble. I remember. All right, give me a couple
Yeah.
seconds.
I'm here
Yes.
to back you up, Rick.
Okay, dude. Right. Well, ridiculous
weird.
accents aside. So yeah. It was just difficult. I feel for Puppy to navigate those tight buildings, bumping around a little bit. I think.
I did notice his armor go down a few times. I hopped on Captain. I was like, you all right over there?" He was like, "Oh, it's not them shooting me. I'm just running into things." I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, that happens a lot on squids. Running into stuff, and then your hull just goes down. Whoops.
So I gotta ask. So I kind of want to hear both sides of this, but I'll ask Overwatch first. I'll ask redria. Parrots and Rumble is one of those maps where you have like a lot of hard cover that you can utilize, but you were having a lot of trouble using it. I saw. What was it that the Mandarins were doing that made it so difficult to like get down in those buildings?
It wasn't trouble getting down in the buildings. It was trouble getting from down in the buildings up to where they were without dying. Basically, anytime I tried to find a spot where I could, push forwards from, I felt like I was getting spotted, and they would just, push around the corner, and I was either charged straight into Gap Mortar, or they would turn and Hades Artemis, and there was a struggle there trying to figure out, how to push.
I want to hear the Mandarins. So like Sammy, why don't you tell us a little bit about it? Like you had Overwatch locked down pretty hard in that hard cover. Like was that really challenging? Like what was the most challenging aspect of keeping them down behind that cover? I'd imagine the squishy.
It's
I mean,
extremely challenging.
Right. Basically, it's really about just pinning them down so they can't charge you. If you're the one forcing them to move, if you're forcing a pyramid to move, it can barely move to begin with. So I mean,
Hey.
if you're just getting those initial pushbacks, those
Fun by
initial
Redria,
shots, you just it's really just about keeping up the aggression, which is very weird against a team like Overwatch. You don't want to attack them because they hit hard. They hit very hard.
You gotta keep him. You gotta keep him at arm's length. If they close in, it gets much dicier.
But you can never stop seeing them. That's the thing. You can't
Right.
leave them alone, but you can't let them
Right.
attack you.
Now, you guys scrim with Overwatch on a fairly regular basis. Do I understand that correctly?
We have one of. I'd say for the past month or so, the duck team that's been scrimming against Overwatch is the Waddling, which is it's a newer team. I think they've been running Galleon
We
and
had
Goldfish.
They ran
Clamor
double
last
Galleon
month
for
or
a
so.
while.
And the-
yeah,
the
that
Robin
was
Dan
interesting.
Show, the Robin Dan show casts those.
Yeah, I don't think the Mandarins haven't played Overwatch probably in a month or two. Actually, this is the first time we'd really gone up against each other in a full team setting. So
It's been quite a while.
Yeah.
It was exciting. It
Yeah,
was
they
two
were
very
tough
almost
games.
conflicting strategies. Yeah.
really tough games.
But yeah, we do scrim usually, and a lot of times with the builds that ducks tend to take, Carronade Flamer is the way to go.
Right. Because also, the Clamor was, we gave the Clamor a lot of the Wednesday scrimmages to get them ready for Sky League. And the Clamor largely brought our build. And so, no, Overwatch was very experienced against us, and we had a lot of video to watch against Overwatch, so everyone kind of knew what the other team was doing. There was no secrets to be had.
Yeah, I think we basically knew what builds they were going to take on which maps. So
Didn't change what you were doing at all, though.
Right. Well, let's just
You know.
any kind of final thoughts on Parrot and Rumble. I mean, what would be the kind of the clincher that won it or lost it, guys? What do you think?
I think
Go
Peryton
ahead.
was a bit better for us because unlike Duel at Dawn, there's place to move too. You can. It's not so much run away, but there's just room to maneuver, room to keep them at that arm's length. And so
Yeah,
I
that's
think
something
that's why we had the edge there, as opposed to in Duel at Dawn, where you're always engaged, you're always in each other's face. There's spawns everywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas Peryton has the set sides, it has the opener areas, and it has that high ceiling.
And with
Yeah,
that, it's harder to separate you. We just couldn't get a
Right.
separation going.
Yeah.
Well, Peryton's one of the Mandarin's best maps. Like, that's how I understand it. Whenever I see you guys
Yep.
on it, it's just like you guys fly so tight. You're so close. You can see almost the entire map from any position. You seem to know the map like the back of your hand. It's impressive. And I wasn't surprised at your ability to really take hold of that game.
Oh, I thought you were supposed to be the bad cop. Ah. Sounds pretty
Also,
good
your
cop
face
right
is a
now.
butt.
there you go. Brought it back.
Clearly,
Well,
Force
thank
Vocal was
you.
just being a
Raw-
bad cop to
raw,
Overwatch there.
raw and uncensored. Yes. Anyway, right. Moving on.
Before that,
Mad
actually,
Hatters. Oh, go
real
on
quick,
then.
this Wednesday will probably basically be a rematch. You can watch that over on the Robin Dance show, but that'll be Mandarin versus Overwatch. So
Right. Well,
just
account
watch.
for that,
for that.
fellas. Right. In any event, Mad Hatters versus the Crimson Sky Riders. The first match was on Fjords, a pretty close game. And the main it's almost a mirror matchup really, because you guys take very similar builds, except that the Crimson Sky Riders took the light flak, whereas the Mad Hatters took the Artemis.
I want to hear why the Echidna over the Artemis.
Yeah.
I'd really prefer not to give that out, but let's just say it has to do with kill potential.
All right.
No, the
So
Echidna
basically-
flag is fantastic. It needs to be used more freaking often.
Now everyone knows it.
Well, we
Oh,
we-
should
we
I not
kind
be
of
saying anything
we
about
we
it?
kind of figured it out.
You sound like me,
Yeah.
Austin.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
Reminded
we,
me
Se-
of-
we
se-
just
several
use
people
it.
in the Skype chat, well, not the Skype chat, the Twitch chat did as well.
So, Hillteron, I gotta ask you're coming onto the community chat. You know we're going to be asking about the Echidna, so you come on. You're just
Yeah.
like, I don't want to talk about it.
Nah, but we just use it to get the quicker kill. Especially on Promedians, you can't disable that efficient. And,
Yeah.
then you just want them dead.
Yeah, that's something Brick and I. That's something we were thinking about. It's like it's hard to disable those front guns, so it's just like whatever, kill them. Makes a lot of sense. And your Hades were on point. Give my regards to your gunners.
And I think it was especially demonstrated. I hate to go right to the end, right at the beginning, but right in that last engage, it was kind of like this mirrored engage. You thought that the Mad Hatters had the slight advantage. However, I think it was just that flak. It was just a burst of flak as soon as that armor went down that really just kind of clinched it for the Crimson Sky Riders.
Yeah, I think so as well. And the fourth Oracle, not to be that guy, but Gio's gonna hate you if you say this was his best gunning, because, yeah, he was on his sister's MacBook today, lagging his ass off, so he wasn't happy at all.
Right,
No,
well.
I'll look up to him. You should really play on a laptop more often.
No, yeah. Well, he wasn't saying it was an example of good gunning. He was just saying he was one of the best gunners in the game. In fact, he said he was the best gunner in the game, I think, didn't you?
I said
I
one of the best.
resent
One of the
okay.
best.
Play.
Just
Oh, right,
the.
Have you seen our Hades?
Well,
That-
that's enough.
I compliment your gunners every freaking game. It's impossible
Okay.
to
Oh, we-
not
we-
say, boy, those
we,
Hades sure are. Landing on point like every other time they gun.
Yes.
Every other.
Don't
Every
worry.
other, sir, you wounded
Your
me.
ego was massaged expertly. Anyway,
Sorry, I
back
wasn't
to the
watching the
mad
stream. I'll make sure
back
to
to
watch the
the
stream next time.
back to the Mad Hatters and the Crimson Sky Riders.
always
So,
mention.
Velvet, what do you think ended up giving the Crimson Sky Riders the slight edge in that match?
Yeah, it was that light fleck. I think the Atomus could have been on a par with it, but that would have needed better aiming, and we didn't take enough time to practice with it to make that happen.
Let's
Velvet,
see.
your voice is amazing. It's like you could narrate. Like you should be next in line for like the trailer narrators.
Are you saying that his voice is like velvet?
Oh, I see what you did there.
And on that note, we move on to the final match of the night, which was on Canyon Ambush, and it very much lived up to its name. With the two pillars just clashing just straight away. We don't normally see that. Normally they play Ring Around the Rosie a bit, but it was just a clash right at the beginning. What was your thought process when you just went into that clash there, Velvet?
Well, at first, I was thinking we should get a quick kill on them, and then after that, I was thinking, oh god, lag, and then things happened.
Yes, I noticed that it was a double kill very quickly, and then I think the Solus Autumn tried to reverse, but it took a big bounce, but Mad Hatters couldn't quite get the kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what's happening there, I was just freezed, so I had no idea what's going on. Almost killing myself on a rock there, so let's not talk about that. Rocks are silly. But then we managed to...
It wasn't a rock,
I
it
think
was
we
a
managed to get your
cliff.
balloon to burn out. Sorry, a cliff.
Yes, you burned down, I think, was it the pinprick, or was it that which will be... I think it was that which will be his balloon. They were both metamidians at that point. Yes, what was the thought process behind going double metamidian in that last game, Velvet?
Well, we'd tried the Atomus Hades, and I think we'd realized that we couldn't make it work better than the the Flak Hades. And, well, basically decided trying to get a quick kill was better than trying to get a disable. We weren't going to try out something like the Hades Flak because we'd never practiced it, so better stick to a metamidian and just try and ambush them in the canyons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense.
I think all of you really should avoid the meta, the Flak Hades Promedian. It's a silly build. Totally.
Very silly.
Yep.
It was
One
a
of the
fluke.
big arguments
fluke.
Farg and I had is I always wanted to try to put a light flak on the junker, and he always shot me down.
Old school, old school.
So I'm wondering
on the
about this.
Hades
Why?
side.
Like, what's the argument?
On the
What's the
Hades
argument
side,
against it on
yeah.
the...
It's a kind of a
what's the argument
medium-ish
against it?
range side.
I mean, the flak gives you that quick kill, but the Artemis gives you the longer engagement. Basically, the longer the engagement, the more powerful disable weapon is, and we were seeing our weapons being good disabling.
Makes
And
sense.
so we
Fair
kept
enough.
with the Artemises. But if you're a Pyramidian or a Mobula, light flak makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Because you can control the
Nothing
distance a lot
disables
better.
quite like having them dead.
the,
Ultimate saver.
the best crowd control is death.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, let's hope you never become a riot policeman. In any event,
The best way to quell clamor is to just stop the clamor at its source.
Clamor?
Not the team.
I know they
Not
got
the team.
eliminated last week. Why would you bring them up?
Yes.
Jerk.
Right.
Not the.
Yeah,
not-
bro. Why are you
Yeah.
being a dick, bro?
So you are being
Clamor
the bad
being-
cop, I see.
Yeah, he's balancing it out.
I'm the
jerk
passive
cop.
aggressive cop.
Passive aggressive. All right, fair enough.
It's like
Um,
what? It's like why don't you talk to me anymore? You're trying to figure out where my fellow gangsters are. Oh, I see how it is. You just don't trust me.
Basically.
Anyway, well, that last engage, I thought that the Mad Hatters actually were going to be able to get a quick kill there, But I think it took a while for you to turn on. No, I'm trying to remember the Pyramidians' names here. So many Pyramidians. The Crimson Sky Riders. You had the Solar Autumn and the. You don't remember either.
No,
No,
it's
I
the
don't.
no, it's
Sorry.
no. Stop.
Oh
Stop.
yes, the
Ulfberg.
Ulfberg.
Yeah,
Ulfberg.
No,
Yes.
it was
Yes,
Ulfberg.
Ulfberg. You were turning around to get the focus fire on the Ulfberg, but you took too long to turn. And then I think the Solar Autumn came around the corner, and I think you got focused down, and that was the last kill.
And we actually shot him to start with, but yeah, the lag kind of won out as us having the superior position when the lag started, so we could kind of predict where they were going to go and turn according to what we guessed, you know.
I see. Any comments on that last engage, Hatters or Velvet?
Well, I think Hillteron may be right. We were playing a build that relied more on movement than them, so when the lag struck, we suffered more.
Oh, yes, I noticed there was a point when the That Which Will Be was basically kind of near the bottom of those canyons. Ally had just been killed. I was thinking, moonshine the hell out of there! Ah! But kind of it just stayed perfectly still for a bit and kind of just got killed. I'm not sure what happened there.
Well, you never know. That may just have been bad piloting.
He might have got off the wheel to repair something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Who
no,
knows?
but generally the Hades do help us with dealing with the lags, because, you know, I can just predict where you should be moving and stay at a decent range.
Oh, makes sense. All right, well,
Fair enough.
I think that's just about all we've got.
Yeah. I guess now we can do the wrap-up comments, the shout-outs, the anything we've missed section of the community chat. I leave it open to the floor. Anyone?
Quack, quack.
Right, well.
Excellently put, sir.
Yes, brevity is the soul of wit. All right, well, if no one's got anything else to say, think we've all rounded it up, then yeah, I guess that's it. This has been the Sky League semi-finals. Thank you to all the teams for all the great matches. Be sure to stay tuned next week. Oh, yes, here's something I can discuss. Sammy, what is your thought? Sammy and Frogger, what are your thoughts on facing the Crimson Sky Riders in the finals next week?
I mean,
we'll be practicing.
It should be a good game. Yeah. Gonna be watching a lot of tape.
Be there with bells
and
on.
Get ready.
Right, Hillteron,
Be afraid.
how are you feeling about...
Oh, gauntlets thrown down.
Hillteron, how do you feel about facing the Mandarins in the finals next week?
We have been doing some practice already against them, and yeah, I think we can take them, but it's going to be a hard match, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
I'm just saying.
I can really-
I don't want to get any specific about our new secret strategy, but I'm just gonna say harpoons.
Right.
We were thinking all flares.
What? Now that's how you control distance with your
That's
opponent.
the part we weren't going to tell you.
Yes.
We'll bring 10 harpoons. You bring 10 flax. It'll be great.
Right.
I would take no,
Yeah.
flares. Lochnagar
Oh, I
flares.
thought you said flax.
Oh,
Because
look,
you
my
guys-
flares. That's be awesome.
You guys don't use chem spray, right?
No, what's chem spray?
No, we don't use chem spray at all.
We just use
Extinguisher
heat
is way
sink
better.
and
Excellent.
assume that'll do all the fires. We're really buff happy.
All right. Well, if you gentlemen have no more smack talk to give,
Smack
then
isn't
yes.
a clan
Shoutouts?
is no longer a team either.
Come
Why
on,
bringing
do
up all
shoutouts?
these?
Yes.
Overdone?
Good old Smack. We miss you. In any event, yes, this has been the Sky League semi-finals. Thank you to all the teams. They were great matches today. Thank you for everyone tuning in. Thank you, of course, to us and all the casters, including myself. And yes, catch us next week. Same time, same bat channel. This has been the Sky League semi-final community chat.
Quack, quack.